lovelies, this is Petal and welcome back to Colours of Nature Art. And if you're new to my channel, lovely to see you and thank you for stopping by. Well, today I'm going to be choosing some pages for the Dephemerember Journal 2024. And if you're not familiar with that, it's a collaboration between Luise Heinzl and Barbara from 49 Dragonflies, where you're given prompts for junk journal pages throughout December. Now, just a quick announcement before I start to say that because my art room is a small space and crammed absolutely full of arty stuff, unfortunately there's not enough room to film in there, so my camera equipment has now taken over the lounge instead. But that means, unfortunately, I can't make any tutorials taking you through every step, but I'm hoping instead to upload several short videos quite frequently throughout December, and showing just the pages as they progress, you know, with all the highs and the lows and the successful bits and the disasters. And there's usually disasters, and I believe in sort of keeping things very real. And I just thought that maybe some of you might like to follow along, especially if you're not making a journal this year or have never made a journal but would still like to feel involved with Dephemerember. And I'd love to have your company. And the idea is that you can hopefully see the progress each time as the journal begins to take shape. And we go from blank paper, or more or less blank paper, to a stuffed full journal, like the one over here, which is absolutely stuffed. And I'm going to try not to make them quite as thick as that this year. It probably won't happen, but there we go. So, on to choosing the papers. Now, I put these together, a couple of weeks ago, so I don't remember really what's in here. So I want to go through it and choose what I might be going to use. Now, Louisa said that we're keeping it neutral. And then when I watched Louisa's video, she has chosen those gorgeous bees by Barbara. And of course those pages are now sort of bright yellow, and then both of them added red into the mix. And there's me having chosen all fairly neutral pages. So I think my journal is probably going to end up a bit different than everybody else's. But hey ho, it is what it is. So that is a page of my own digital design. So I thought we'd have two piles, the haves and the have-nots. So I think that page could go in, because if it's folded in half, that still looks the right way up, doesn't it? And there is a little bit of yellow on there. We could stick a bee on it. I really want to try that technique that Louisa showed us, making the bees look furry. So I'll let you know what happens with that. Now this page I definitely want to keep. I'll tell you about this. This is actually from an original, and obviously I don't want to use the original in a journal because it is from 1885, and I think it would be absolutely awful to put that in a journal and mess it up. So I photocopied it, or scanned it in basically, and then printed it out. And I love here because in 1885, obviously you'd got sepia, was about as coloured as it got. And at the bottom down here it says additional copies can be had, enlargements made to any size and coloured in oil, watercolour or crayon. Can you imagine having your photograph these days coloured in crayon? But I want to include that. Now here's me going for sort of muted tones. Two different pages, because by the time we've folded that, and that has become A5, so, and that was another one, very much keeping to the neutral theme, and another one again very neutral. So I'm going to keep those. Now, what's this? Oh, this was this was a wallpaper sample. I sent for some free wallpaper samples, and they make really good journal pages. The only thing is I'll have to do something with the label that's on the back. But I thought maybe that by the time it's folded in half, maybe that sort of way up. So we'll keep that. Another one of my printable digital ones, because we're supposed to have 12 pages, I think, 12 full pages. I don't think I've got 12, but we'll work that out later. So I shall include that one. I really like that. I think that one could go in the centre of a signature. We've got to have 4 signatures. And this is another one I'm definitely going to keep. Again, this one I scanned into the computer. It's the original housing plan, the architect's plans for a house that was built in 1903. It was one of my ancestors, and I've also got some building plans from 1880 and 1840, which at some point I will scan in and see if we can use them in a journal. But what I love about this, look at this here. Now this is what we try to do, don't we, with junk journals? We try to recreate this, and there it is, already done. But that needs a bit of, when I get to the embellishment bits, we'll do something with that. And staying with the historical theme, I also scanned in a part of a census, and again these are my ancestors. I think this was the 1901 census, and there's my grandmother is on here, Rose Bishop, she's on there. And it was a small two up, 2 down house, and there were 3 adults, my grandmother, great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, and my great-great-grandfather, and 5 children. So yes, there were 8 of them, all living in a 2 up, 2 down cottage. And that's another one of my digi printables. And now this piece of paper was actually just ordinary copy paper, which I dyed with blueberry juice. But it probably doesn't really show in the camera. But what you've got with all the pips that were in the blueberry juice, they've impregnated themselves onto the paper. And it's got this lovely sort of knobbly sort of feel to it. So I don't know, shall we have another pile that is a sort of don't know? Oh well, it's already sort of junkified, isn't it? I quite like that. Let's include it. And this one, something I've not used before, and I'm looking forward to trying this out. This is mulberry paper, and it's quite delicate. But you can see, if I hold it up, you can see all the bits from the mulberry leaf and the fibres. It's very, very thin, so I don't know quite how it's going to stand up to being a page on its own. But junk journaling, I think, is all about experimentation, so I'll include. Yes, I put this in the pile because I thought I like the texture of this. I mean, it won't look like that at all by the time I've finished with it. Don't know if I've got. No, I don't think I've got anything at the moment that I can show you, but that is a nice texture. So the only problem is that on the back, I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can, it's a bit bumpy. So trying to sort of glue something flat onto that, or even stamping on it, is going to look a bit. Well, if I could back it with a piece of the mulberry paper. There, by the time that's folded, yeah. Right, 2 pieces of mulberry paper. Now, that was the start of a masterboard that never really got any further. I'm not sure about that. Is that sort of... It doesn't. Right, that's in a maybe possible, not sure, pile over there. No, I think that's too glitzy. It doesn't not go colour wise, but I think it's a bit glitzy. So no to that. Now that's quite nice. I wanted that again for the texture. This is canvas paper, and it's smooth on one side, and you can see it's like canvas on the other. But it's a bit yellow. I'll see how many pages I've got. So put that in the not sure pile. And this is just ordinary rice paper, and I want to include rice paper, and I want to do something I haven't done before with it, because normally I print onto rice paper. You know, I'd put something like that, or sort of a fairy or something like that onto rice paper and then glue it onto a page. But I want to see what happens if I actually turn it into pages. I think it could work. Again, it's fairly flimsy, but it's smooth on one side and sort of rough on the other. So I think I'd like to include that. I don't think it's A4. Let's have a look. No, I'd have to cut it down. Ooh, that's almost more subtle than vellum, isn't it? But you can't really see through it. But I'm including that. No, we'll hide that one. I don't know. Oh, I'm not using that one. This, I think, it's very similar. It's the white version of the canvas. So I might, just for the texture, I think I'd like to use either the yellow or the white one, but not sure what I'm going to do with that. What's this? Oh, it's all the measurements. So we need 5 pages. Each signature is going to have 5 pages, and there has to be 12 full-sized ones of these, and then the 8 smaller ones, which will come to the small pages, 2 in each signature, if I've got that right. That's another piece of that. Oh, it's a piece of parchment. That might be quite nice to put in. Piece of parchment. Do something with that. What's that? Oh, that was trying to keep the neutral theme. That's some of my own vellum. That was done with dotting tea bags onto a piece of plain, ordinary copy paper, and then covering it with candle wax. And you've ended up with sort of, again, it's quite a nice sort of texture, something a bit different. Put that in the not sure pile. That's just a bit boring. That's another. This was dyed with watercress, and then I ironed it and covered it with candle wax. So again, you've got this nice. I think I like the colour of that one, but is that going to sort of, I don't know, what do you think? It doesn't not go, but it doesn't absolutely go, does it? Put it in the not sure pile. That not sure pile is growing. Don't think that fits in really. That was sort of leaves doing leaf prints. Don't think that fits. That wouldn't go at all. Don't know why. That's another piece of vellum. That was just no to that. That is definitely not going to go. I don't know how that got in there. That was just sort of a masterboard to sort of chop up into pieces. Totally the wrong colour. Those are definitely a no to all those. So if I put those out of the way, so we've got a pile of, yes, we're going to use. I'll have to have a count through and see if I've got enough. And so those are definites. These are all the not sure abouts. So we'll put those there. And I hope I didn't move too far away from the microphone there. I drifted. Anyway, let's have a look at this. These are going to be the small pages, and like Barbara and Luise, I do like small little pages put into a bigger journal. So let's see what I've got in here. Right, I like that. So how many can I have? If it's 2 per signature, I can have 8 altogether. So that is yes, we'll use that. I just love that. I just love that. This is from Daphne's diary, and you can do so many things with these. And you can put them on the back of a journaling card. I just love that, and it's very neutral. I can see with this, I'm going to have to be choosing very carefully, because I'm going to end up with more small pages than we're supposed to have. So we have that. This is from Chambers Income Tax Guide, 1 and 6pence, and this is the original from a Chambers little volume that used to come out, and it's dated there January 1918, and so this is an original. So I think that might make a nice little page, would it? Possibly. Or do we want to be reminded of income tax every time we look at the journal? Yeah, maybe not. Okay, that's the don't know box. Chambers Journal again. Annual subscription, 9pence. Yeah. I think I'll definitely use that page, because it'd be nice to have something like that in there. I want to use this. I love this. Colour wise, yes, it will go. We will make it work. I wish you could feel the texture of this. It's all sort of scrunchy and knobbly and smooth at the same time. Definitely use that. That's just a bit of parchment with a bit of stamp on it. Boring. Right. Oh, what's this? Oh, I remember what this was now. This because I threw it in there and I couldn't remember what it was. I remember now. It was again a sample of blind material, and I was trying to put some iron-on transfers on it, because I had this great idea of ironing transfers on a plain blind. Yeah, that's a tale for another day. It went disastrously wrong. Probably the worst project disaster I've ever had. But as I say, we'll leave that for another day. But this was me experimenting. So it's quite hard. So I don't know how it will go into a journal. But if that was folded in half. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Yes, we're going to keep that. What's that? Oh, that was just a little cluster, or part of a cluster. That's quite nice. That was an altered book page, but of course it will be that way round, won't it? So that you could have a butterfly floating that way. What's the other? Can you have a page that's sideways on? I don't see why not. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit. We'll have that one. Oh, this is a used baby wipe. When I've been doing some art with some acrylic paints, this was just wiping my brush on as you do. And then I ironed it, and it's beautiful. I don't know how that would stand up as a page. Never put anything. I have used one of these in a journal. Just thinking, actually, I think it's in this one. I'll see if I can find it. If I can't, I think it was somewhere. Oh, here we go. we had to make, this was Dephemerember 2022, and we had to make faux leather. So that, believe it or not, started life as a piece of greaseproof paper, and we had to make ATC cards. But the reason for showing you is I did something similar. I lined the inside with something very similar to that, so it made this sort of it's almost like material. Yes, so but as I say, I have never used it as a journal page. I wonder how well that would open. It's a bit flimsy. Maybe I might need to put just a bit of card or something on the back of it. Right, put that out of the way. Where have I got to? Oh, you see, that's pretty again. I've really got to count these, haven't I? And that again is from a Daphne's diary page, but that would really be nice to use that as a whole page, maybe as a journaling card or something. I think it was when I got this idea of neutral in my mind that I got to use. So we've got, right, so that is signature 1, just so I'm counting, signature 2, signature 3, and signature 4. Right, so we're going to have an extra page. Oh, I'm a rule breaker. Just don't tell Luise and Barbara. And with that, my lovelies, I will whisk all these pages away and start on the embellishing. And hopefully next time I see you, we can go through, and this will by then hopefully look like more like a journal, because the pages will all be folded and I will have done a few embellishments. So thank you for watching, and I also want to say a very big thank you to everyone who gave me a thumbs up recently for any of my videos that you watched. It really means a lot, and I want to say a special thank you for taking the time and the trouble to do that. Because I'm not on any social media, I'm just on YouTube. So if you'd like to subscribe, it is of course entirely free, and this channel isn't monetized and it never will be. But if you'd like to subscribe and you click the bell, then you'll be notified each time I upload a progress report on this journal. So until then, my lovelies, hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.